say that the election was free and fair. If the votes were illegal, let's count. Let's sift out the bad ones and find out who the real victor is here. And if it's Donald Trump, it's Donald Trump.
Okay, so Ben, on that note, how does Trump's team possibly argue against this recount when Trump is claiming not hundreds, not thousands, but millions of people voted illegally in the election?
Yeah, he should probably go into his Twitter account and hit the delete tweet button, and that would probably help things a lot right now. I don't think he's going to do that. Obviously, Donald Trump was fighting back. He shouldn't have used those words. There is nothing to describe or to insinuate that there was 1 million+ people that voted illegally in this election. For me, I'm ready to move on to the other things. What's going to happen on January the 20th? And I don't know why he would tweet this out, to be honest with you. But again, I go back to the main thing here. Mark understands it and agrees with me on this. There is nothing that's going to come out of this. It's meaningless. It is just a waste of time. It is a waste of resources. It is a waste of money. I think the Green Party, part of the reason why they did this is to get some relevancy after they had a really bad election and maybe bring more people into their party. And it's just, you know, you could even say they borrowed a line from Donald Trump. They pulled a publicity stunt and it worked.
Mark, you're shaking your head.
One, the elections didn't go poorly for the Green Party. They went poorly for the Democratic Party.
Didn't go
well, Mark. Well, Ben, we didn't go in. We weren't exactly sizing up drapes or booking Frankie Beverly for the inauguration. We knew we weren't going to win going into the election day. It was bad for Democrats, not bad for the Green Party. But the bigger question here is not whether or not we ultimately have a different president, although we could. I think the odds are against it. But the question is, did every vote count?
Let's not go there, Mark. Let's not go there, okay?
Hold on, Ben, but let me ask you this. With no evidence of hacking whatsoever, does this set a dangerous precedent? You know, after every election, should there be a recount like this now with this movement?
The problem with the question is that it presumes that this is the first time. It's not a precedent. Elections have been recounted many times, and this isn't the first time that a state has asked for a recount, whether it's a Senate election, whether it's a gubernatorial election, or whether it's a presidential election. And again, let's say that it turns out that of the 3 states that have been contested, one of them turns, and Donald Trump is still president. If you're in Wisconsin, don't you want to know you didn't vote for Donald Trump? If I'm in Wisconsin, and I darn sure want to know that my state didn't vote for Donald Trump. That matters for future elections. It matters for funding. It matters for campaigning. And it also matters because I don't want to live in a state that voted for Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Are you going to move every time you don't get your way, Mark? That would be exhausting if that's how you decide where you're going to live based on where the election went last time. Second of all, I lived in America proudly for 8 years, and my guy didn't win. Barack Obama was president, so let's not go to that extreme of if I don't get my way, I'm going to move somewhere. But here's what I'll say. You guys keep going and fighting over recounts. Keep giving lawyers, Democratic lawyers, a ton of money, millions of dollars for all this legal stuff while they get rich. And as you would say, the poor get poorer when they send in their checks to fight this. And we're going to get ready to run the United States of America, the government, and that's what Donald Trump's going to be focused on.
All right, I want to move on to something else because there is a lot to discuss. That, of course, is one issue being discussed. The other one is the infighting over the possibility of Mitt Romney for Secretary of State. What do you think, Ben? Do you think that Donald Trump is